this up. So I just had some questions about the length of it all, but I think this comes after maybe the vote. The length of the period of the auction, or however that goes, and how it's all done, how people bid on it, and what the timeline is. So that's essentially my questions. But I don't know if that's answered afterwards.
2 weeks.
We advertise it for 2 weeks.
Advertised for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then the bids have to be in.
The tax title attorney will actually be here. He'll provide notice of it. And he actually will accept all bids that be done in the form of an auction versus a sealed bid.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Like an actual auction where you come in.
Yes,
And that's conducted here?
correct. And we would have to coordinate with him in terms of what the date is. The statutory requirement is 2 weeks advertising for sale of any land that was acquired. And this would be back tax title property, not requiring a vote of town meeting to dispose, certainly your vote is sufficient.
Thank you.
So, Mr. O'Leary is proposing a minimum of $5,000, subject to 1, 2, 3, and 5. Is that correct? Mr. Yule?
Mr. Chairman, I move to sell by auction town-owned land designated as map 12, parcel 66, located at 6 Brook Road, in accordance with MGL Chapter 60, Section 77B, at a minimum bid price of $5,000, with subject to the following restrictions: that the lot not be used, 1, in and of itself as a separate building lot; 2, the premises shall not be used to satisfy minimum zoning or health code requirements for the construction on or use of any building on adjoining land. 3, no building or other structure of any kind shall be erected or maintained on the premises unless the premises is combined with adjoining, and said adjoining land already meets the minimum requirements of the town of North Reading for a separate building. Lot, thank you. And we are not accepting 4, but number 5, to waive the provisions of MGL Chapter 4A, Section 6, pursuant to its
48.
48.
40A. Did I say 48?
You said 4.
I'm sorry, 40A, Section 6, pursuant to its 9th paragraph.
I just have a question for Sean. Number 2, just a quick interpretation in relation to the septic being on that parcel to satisfy the need of the other adjacent lot. Maybe we should take that one out. So there's no room for misunderstanding because the septic system is there, and that's really why.
Probably safest to eliminate number 2.
That's what I was just thinking, listening to it again.
Yeah.
Right?
I think
So I would say the revises,
Yeah.
so the original motion should exclude
Take
2
out
and
2.
4, 2 and
Right.
4.
Right. So, put down excluding 2 and 4. Okay?
Yeah, you're all set.
So, on the motion,
Did we get a second? Second.
motion by Mr. Yule, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Just as a note, after the motion was read, Mr. O'Leary requested advice of Mr. Delaney that the motion can actually be tightened up by removing paragraph item 2, which read, "The premises shall not be used to satisfy minimum zoning or health code requirements for the construction on or use of any building on adjoining land."
Because the actual issue that we're addressing here is a health code issue.
Right.
Okay. On the motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Next item on our agenda is to discuss sidewalk snow removal. See, we have a couple members of the chamber here with us. Greg and I and Dick, DPW Director, met with members of the chamber on last Wednesday to discuss the issue of sidewalk plowing and the hardship to some degree that is placed on some of the business owners, and two, a lot of the additional issues that were raised associated with sidewalk on, specifically on Route 28 that has questionable ownership, crosses wetlands, and the town owns a piece. A map was prepared for us. I think one of the questions we had the last time was the amount of sidewalk and where it is. And everybody should have a copy of the map. Gentlemen, if you want to come up here if you haven't seen it. The map shows sidewalk on two sides of the road, one side, and stretches where there is no sidewalk. And I guess once you get past, looks like heading into Andover, once you get past Volk Street, there's no sidewalk at all. And so from the Reading line, there's sidewalk on two sides of the street up to, kind of hard for me to estimate.
Or Walmart.
Walmart.
Walmart, okay.
Yes.
Then the sidewalk on one side of the street all the way up to,
Streets unidentified.
Excuse me one second, Chuck.
Up to Greenbrier.
Greenbrier, that's what I thought.
No sidewalk in front of your house?
It's on my land.
It's on your land?
Outside of.
No, I mean, it looks like a sidewalk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It stops at Greenbrier, picks up again when you get to,
North Street.
Texaco, right?
Yeah, North Street, yeah,
SES.
yeah.
Right.
Then goes as far as Bill Murphy's, and then stops again. And you have a dirt sidewalk all the way to the end of
On which side?
I'm not
the
sure.
right side,
Northbound side.
northbound side.
Where is the Dunkin' Donuts on here?
They have a
Flip it.
sidewalk because they put it in.
Flip it.
But it ends at their driveway.
Yeah.
That's not shown here.
So there's one
Yeah.
little stretch there, but it's not shown on the map.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah, right
no, I knew
in front
that,
of
right. So there is a sidewalk there.
There's-
I mean, whether, does it matter who puts the sidewalk in or not?
Well, that was part of their stipulation when they built up the building, but that's
Right. But is it a town sidewalk nonetheless? Okay. So it doesn't matter if it's, who puts it in?
Right.
I believe there's also, and it's not shown here, isn't there a piece of sidewalk in front of China Cuisine at Main and
Yes.
North? And that's, how, is this map
Yeah,
recent?
yeah.
Yes.
Because that's not in there.
Yeah, that's not in here. There's a sidewalk
Well, you can
that wraps
almost-
around.
Yeah, there's a retaining wall.
State,
And there's a sidewalk.
Retaining wall, there's a sidewalk.
Yeah.
There is, but it's not shown.
Yeah,
the state.
that doesn't matter.
Okay, so there's some additional sidewalk.
Actually, I think in front of the Hess, there's
Yes, that's the sidewalk too?
a sidewalk.
This one's on the
It
corner.
really connects up to North Street.
As far as I know, is that the cemetery there? No,
What's
no,
it?
no, cemetery, there's a Jewish cemetery.
That's right there,
Okay,
Is that the
yeah.
cemetery there?
right after North
That
Street.
little square there?
There's a set of steps
No.
that take
That's
into the
the,
sidewalk
no, that's the ATM.
from the cemetery.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Dick, you know, one of the questions that was, Greg reported on was that Dick had, we had asked what it would cost if the town plowed the whole strip. And I believe he had reported around $7,500 a storm. I think, you know, if it was a large storm, it might cost more, because most of the snow had to be actually removed. And what he reported to us in the meeting, just so you know what he said, because he's not here this evening, was that I had raised the question of why not use the town equipment after the storm, even if it's 2 days later. And one thing is that the snow blower, I think a couple of board members said would be ideal for doing the sidewalk. There's strips of area that are wetland, they can't blow the snow into the wetland. And therefore, he didn't think the snow blower was the approach to use, but rather to plow into the street and then remove it from the street.
That doesn't make any sense. It's a 4-lane highway.
Well,
The state comes along and they push the snow all the way back, and it goes in the wetlands.
well, you know,
I happen to have a business on 9th
Mhm.
Street, on Main Street, and that snow winds up in my pocket.
well, what they do may be illegal, but what we do, you know, I guess we're trying to be good citizens here.
You have a lot of options with that snow blower piece of equipment.
Well, Dick didn't seem, that was one of the issues he raised. The other issue was that, you know, the men are out there doing the primary routes to the schools, they're plowing, and then they, you know, the town employees have to take a break, and, you know, they'll get to it in a couple of days perhaps. If there's another snowstorm, then they don't get to it, and there's no guarantee the walks are gonna get plowed on a regular basis. I think,
I just say that the town of Reading plows the sidewalks, stony end, and operating line. There's a ton of wetlands in between. At one time, that was my job way back in 1960, to plow those sidewalks.
what do they plow with, Chuck, do
They
you
use
know?
the snow blower now,
Mhm.
same equipment that we have. And that piece of equipment, what's everywhere, $30,000, $40,000 sits idle. It could be out there doing those sidewalks, and it's a directional snow blower.
Yeah.
The kind of equipment that you should use up there. Again, you've got a 4-lane highway, you're pushing that snow back, that's a lot of snow. You're asking people to shovel by hand. And I've seen a few of those people out there shoveling, we're gonna drop one of these days.
Well, I'm not sure we asked them to shovel it by hand.
Well, take a look. I see Billy Murphy
I think
shoveling
we
from-
asked them to shovel it, I don't recall that we told them how. Anyway, the chamber also made note that, not all the businesses on Main Street belong to the chamber, and it would be difficult then to, you know, organize some form of, I don't know what you call it, but a group to, you know, just everybody kick in a certain amount of money and hire a contractor to do the strip. Town property, I'm told, is about 420 feet, and I'm looking for it. Where is it?
Down at the bottom, the middle,
It's over here.
middle bottom. It's not identified, it's just a total amount,
It's right,
footage.
But
Yeah, I see the footage, but
Oh, okay.
I'm looking,
Oh,
I've been
it's
looking
right-
for where it is, and,
It's not identified on the map. It's
Um,
the same thing.
okay.
Town property would be from Francis Street to the next driveway, that would be town property.
Okay.
and then across from Walmart.
Yeah.
Across from Walmart,
Yeah.
that's town property. That's the two, there's only two sections.
what about the property in front of Stop and Shop?
No, that's not town,
That's not?
no. There's just a section across from
I mean, it
Walmart,
looks like it, but...
and the other section,
Do we own, the town still own by the joke shop, corner of, Atlee
yes,
Road?
that's the other piece, Steve.
Atlee Road?
There's that piece, and there's the piece across from Walmart. I remember seeing that on a map somewhere, and I don't really know
Two
where it was.
parcels, according to this, but it's not identified on the map, so. It wasn't I don't have it with me, but there was a map that had arrows.